Congrats, you are getting Oscar buzz for Causeway. I mean, you got a lot going on.
It's a lot, yeah. It's really wonderful to hear this praise for this movie. It was a labor of love. Working with Jennifer Lawrence was really amazing, and Lila Nugebauer, our director. So the praise is really humbling, and it's really cool because it comes from your peers.
Yes.
You know, it feels like it's coming from people who finally see me, and it feels so great to be seen. You know, like it's so being seen by the people that I'm being seen by is just great. There was a article that came out that kind of like floored me at the Washington Post, where they called me your favorite actor's favorite actor, and I was like, oh well, I can.
That's amazing.
I was like, that alone is like I won. So
exactly.
like, yeah, it's like. I don't know. I mean, like, the awards are cool and they're great and everything, but I think it's just, you know, I love what I do. I love these characters that I get to play.
It shows.
You know,
it shows.
Yeah.
Can you tell everyone what Causeway is about?
Yes, Causeway is a movie about this young woman named Lindsay who was in the war in Afghanistan, and she suffers a brain injury and has to go back home to rehabilitate. But she hasn't been home for quite a long time, so you're watching her go through this journey of trying to figure out how to deal with loss and grief and guilt. And she meets my character, who is also dealing with his own loss and grief and guilt. And they realize that they can create a connection through that and also get on the other side of what that means and find a place in each other to find friendship, connection at home. And I think that it's a story that really helped me because, you know, holidays are hard, you know, because I'm sure most of us in here have dealt with the loss of some sort, or all of us are carrying grief in some way.
Yes.
And I think that this movie hopefully will give everyone who watches it a chance to feel like they can lighten that load a little bit, lay that grief down, and feel seen in their grief. And that's what we wanted with this movie.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's definitely healing to people.
Yeah, I hope so.
Who have lost.
I hope so.
Very beautiful. And you filmed in New Orleans. How was that?
New Orleans is unlike any city. If New Orleans were a sound, that's it.
That's the sound.
That's the sound. It was one of the most magical, amazing, spiritual places I've ever been. For a city that has endured so much, has lost so much, but also has the tenacity of 1,000 cities, knows how to rebuild itself. And it was great. But we were filming in the summer in New Orleans, just to be very clear. So it was hot. It was really hot. Not even just hot, humid.
Humid.
You know, so like I compare the humidity in New Orleans to like the icing of a cake. Like it sits on you like icing, and it's like, but it's still, you know, it's all good. And I'm a heater. I'm a human heater. Like I sweat when I inhale.
See, I'm not.
So, I'm always hot. So I was like, this is cool.
See, I love the heat.
I heard that you like the heat, Jay.
Oh.
I heard that you.
That's my type of weather.
Nah, I love you.
Oh, baby, I love some heat.
All right.
We ain't gonna be able to sit in the heat together, but we can run from some spiders together.
Yeah, it was, the heat was, and it's interesting because my co-star, Jennifer Lawrence, is the same way. She runs very cold. So in this scene that you see, this pool is 98.6 degrees, which is the temperature of the human body, and it was 102 degrees outside. So I'm acting in soup. And so I was like, so there's a scene where I jump in and you see me pretending to be cold. I think that's the best acting I've ever done. I was like,
the heat must be a Jennifer thing. I feel you,
It must be a
Jennifer.
Jennifer thing.
Because I would have had it at 98 too.
It must be a Jennifer thing. That's right, yeah.
Top Gun Maverick has 6 Oscar nominations?
Yay. You know about that.
Not 6!
You know about that.
Tell me how that, I don't know about 6. How that feel?
It's amazing. You know, this movie is like the gift that just keeps giving. Like it's, you know, to shoot a movie over 4 years ago at this point and pay back. You know, to shoot this movie over 4 years ago and to be in this bubble and for us to think it's good, but then for it to come out to the world and like be so successful in the box office and so many people love it. And then, you know, I mean, you know this town doesn't necessarily always celebrate movies that are box office successes.
That is true.
Right? And so for the community to come together and see how well and how just amazingly good like this film was executed from top to bottom, like it's just an amazing feeling.
But y'all outdid yourselves. Now, maybe, do you think Oh,
That's the first picture we ever took together.
Is it?
That's the first picture we ever took together months before we started filming, actually, yeah.
Did you have to learn how to fly too?
Yeah.
Dang.
Oh,
So it was
yeah.
like hands-on, legit.
Hands-on. My first flight was actually with Glenn Powell. We flew in a Cessna together. I flew first. He was sitting in the back seat. He was so sick when we landed.
Oh my God.
Because, you know, they give you this thing, and it's crazy how you're up in the air and it just feels so light, and you're just turning it and whatever. And then, you know, you don't realize that, like, it's like being in the back of a car. You know how, like, it's bumpier when you sit in the back? I didn't realize I was tearing my man up. We landed, and he was like, I need a water break. I need a few minutes to just get my life back. And then we got up, and he got to fly. It was amazing. And then, you know, Tom created this flight program for us that went all the way through to F-18s.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That is dope. Okay, so the scenes with the shirtless, like, I mean, and y'all work hard for them bodies.
Oh, we worked hard.
What was that like? Y'all see this? What was the workout? And the diet and what's the...
You know, here's the thing. Here's what none of us expected. None of us expected that this was gonna go viral the way that it went viral. But I will tell you, Glenn and I, Jerry Bruckheimer, who produced the movies, a legendary producer in this town, he was like, I go, the weekend that movies come out, my movies come out, I always go to the theater and I watch the audience. So my back is to the screen and I'm just watching the audience. So Glenn and I were like, yo, let's go do it. We introduced a few screenings, surprised a few folks, and then we would walk into other screenings that were mid-movie and we would just watch the audience watching the movie. And when I tell you the sweat that was on people's faces watching that scene, they were sweatier than us. People were like, oh my God, them abs. Oh my, ooh. Hey, 3 Kings.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's worth watching. That's host the show. Listen. Okay, Tom Cruise, y'all look like that, and he sent y'all cakes. Are you on his cake list?
We are on the cake. We got the cake right after this, actually.
After that?
We got the cake like 2 weeks after this. The cake is coveted in this town. It's literally like getting a trophy.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
We get the cake every year. It's always a surprise when you get it, like, because you're so excited to get it, and you want to make sure you're still on the gift list, like you ain't get crossed off. But the cake shows up, and this year, my family, we all met in Mexico to spend Christmas together. And I was away filming a movie. And so I was like, Mom, can you freeze the cake and take it to Mexico?
Is that serious?
My whole family was like, yes, freeze the cake. Ice, but whatever it is, dry ice, ice cubes, whatever it is, we froze the cake, we took it to Mexico, thawed it out, and we had it on Christmas Day.
And you had it on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
All right, well, I need to be on this list, Tom. Okay, congrats on your season 3 of Southside.
Thank you very much. Southside.
Now, you started it and you created it? Okay, why did you want to make it?
You know, my background is in comedy. I actually I got my start writing for Jimmy Fallon. I used to work on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon show back in the day. Yep. And you know, just wanted to make a comedy. My writing partner and I wanted to make a comedy about one of our hometowns. He's from Atlanta. I'm from Diallo. I'm from Chicago. And you know, our city, it's a place where usually when you read news about Chicago, you're like, oh my God.
Right.
And so we thought, let's show the side of the city that those of us who are from there know.
Right.
Which is the funniest people you'll ever met, a hometown vibe, damn good food, and you know, folks who it really feels like a small town sometimes in a big city. So our show really focuses on that.
That's true.
Just the comedy, and just showing the lighter side of things.
I love that. I always say we got to accentuate the positive
Come
of
on
our
now, we
city.
gotta show the positive.
I'm
Somebody
glad
has
that
to.
we, trying to get in there and highlight the great things of Chicago, because
Absolutely.
obviously great people come from Chicago.
Man, come on, right
You know
here,
what I mean?
for Hudson, y'all.
And great things can happen. And I love, so you actually will cast people off the street.
Yeah, you know, people say, what's it like shooting in Chicago? I said, well, the thing about Chicago is everybody who passes our set feels like the only thing missing is them. You know, like, come on, brother, come on, I know what you need. It's right here. And so I was over my mom's house one time, and I, you know, like an adult, I wanted a snow cone. And I said, I want a snow cone. She's like, you know, there's a guy on 80th and Vincennes, and he sells snow cones.
I love him.
And I went over there, and I was like, let me get that one right there. And he was like, brother, don't nobody order this. I put it in the back for a reason. And he just was the funniest person ever. And, you know, a couple days later, I had our folks go talk to him, and now he's on the show. He's actually in the trailer for season 3.
I love that.
Yeah, there he is.
Oh my God. So how did you get into acting as a kid?
Yeah, I grew up in Austin. I did some like musical theater as a kid. I did like The Music Man.
Music Man.
Yeah, that was my first play. And then yeah, just Austin was like kind of a booming film scene, so I did that a bit. And then actually I did this movie called The Great Debaters when I was 17 years old.
You were 17?
17. Denzel Washington directed it. Great movie if you haven't seen it. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Wow, look at that guy. Long time ago. Yeah, so I did that when I was 17, and then Denzel was the one who kind of encouraged me to move out to LA and give this a shot.
He did.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, and you dressed up for Oprah at a table read? What was that?
Oh, yeah.
Please
yeah.
tell me about that.
It's a weird story. I don't think I've ever told this story to anybody, so brace for impact here. I was 17 at the time when I was auditioning. The character was supposed to be in college, so I thought, he had to look a little older. So Denzel told me, he's like, hey, the producers think you're a little young for the role, so just come, like, look a little old, carry yourself a little bit different to win the role. Oprah's in the room, Forrest Whitaker, Denzel, I had to bring it. So for me, that tuxedo that you saw me wear, I wore that to a table read, which, if anybody knows what a table read is, it's like the most casual thing of all time. It's like everybody's in sweats, and the guy in the tuxedo does not look cool or sane. So yeah, so I literally wore a tuxedo to this table read, 17 years old, in the middle of I think it was Shreveport, Louisiana. And delivered my speech directly to Oprah and Forrest Whitaker and Denzel, and I ended up getting the role. So
you got the role, so
much, yeah.
it paid off. Congrats on being nominated for Golden Globe Award.
It's good. I think, as I said, Jim put a lot of hard work into this. It's not just me. I'm a small cog in this. There's 3,000 different guys involved in some facet. So it's a testament to all their hard work. It's great.
Wow. And how long did it take you guys to film?
I think the first time I saw what the movie might look like visually was about 2015. My wife was heavily pregnant. I was pushing her around a room looking at pictures of this family saga, and we were about to start our own family. Right. And then about 2017, it was like, well, how are we going to shoot those pictures? And we figured out how to do it. So from 2017, basically up to June this year, there was always some kind of level of involvement. Yeah, so a long time.
Nice. And then the movie happens underwater. How you were acting underwater?
Yeah. We in the movie, war comes back to this family, and they have to go on the run. So Jake has to protect his family. So he takes them out to the atolls and the reefs. So a large part of the environment is underwater. So to do that authentically, we put the way that we film these movies in a big tank. And so it's about 30 feet deep tank. Everything that you see us do underwater and with water in the movie, we literally did. And no one's ever tried to do performance capture underwater before, and we're the first. We were the guinea pigs.
I was going to ask, was this the first time?
We're the first people to try it. I think that's the great thing. I think, there's us in the big tank. And we would sit on the big pool noodles between takes or setups, or sometimes I would stay at the bottom of the tank because I'm getting a bit old and rusty, and to come up was a bit far. But and we did a technique called freediving, where you learn to breathe and put oxygen into your system and calm your mind and your heart, so you can take away scuba and perform emotional scenes underwater for minutes at a time. Yeah.
For minutes at a time. Minutes. So how long can you hold your breath underwater?
Well, Kate Winslet did about 7 minutes holding her breath.
7 minutes?
Yeah. Sigourney Weaver did 5 minutes, and then there was an 8-year-old girl who did 5 minutes. I did an easy 15 seconds. But yeah, look, we're trained by Navy SEALs and professionals. It's not like something you can just straight away go into. We had months of training, so yeah.
That's some new level stuff. Y'all hear that? If you like this video, smash that like button and subscribe to the Jennifer Hudson Show YouTube channel. Check your local listings or visit jenniferhudsonshow.com to see when you can watch full episodes in your area. And don't forget to sign up for the newsletter.